Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And we've got another new shell out here today, and it's one that one of you guys sent in. So Joseph, big thank you to you for sending me a box of these shells, because we're going to put them to the test and see what they can do. Now, I don't really know what to expect. I hope we see some good results out of these shells, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were a little lackluster as well. I don't know, we're just going to have to test them and see what we can actually get. But as for those shells, Joseph sent us some of the Federal Premium 3rd Degree TSS shells. These ones are the 12 gauge, 3-inch, ounce and 3/4 of 5, 6, and 7 shot, moving about 1250 feet per second. Now, as far as I understand with the Federal 3rd Degree stuff, the number 5 shot is pretty standard copper plated lead. The number 6 shot is some kind of slightly denser material lead, something or another. And the number 7 shot is the TSS that's in these shells. So a pretty mixed or stacked loading that I don't know. It might do well, it might not. Traditionally, Federal shells, especially their TSS stuff, has not done anything amazing for us, so I don't know. I hope we can get some good results out of these, but I guess it could go either way on this one. But as for the setup we've got to run them through today, I brought out the 1187 here with this choke. This is the Carlson's Longbeard XR 660 constriction turkey choke. This one has been a pretty consistent performer, and I figured with the mixes of 5, 6, and 7s, 660 might be a pretty decent starting point. It's a little tighter than 665 to help out those 7s, but it's not as tight as something like a 655 or something would be. So I don't know. It might work out, it might not. But as for our test, everything is going to be the same as usual. I have the turkey target set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll be able to get our speed and see how close it is to the box claim. So let's get you guys set up with a view of the target. We'll take our shot, look at our chrono, and then go down and see how they actually perform. I hope we can get some good performance out of them, but I guess we'll just have to see what they can do. So let's go over here and shoot them, see what kind of pattern we can get. Alright, so that shell gave us 1298 through our chronograph. The box claims 1250, so yeah, we're 48 above their claim. That doesn't really surprise me considering we have a 28-inch field barrel, and Federal shells like this seem to tend to run a little bit faster than their claimed velocity out of my particular shotgun anyway. But still, right at about 1300 feet per second, you're starting to get up there and move pretty quick. So I don't know. Velocity, not anything I'm too surprised about, but we are starting to push it a little bit quick. But either way, that doesn't really matter if it performed well down there at 40 yards. So let's go down and take a look and see what kind of pattern we actually got. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now, technically, we do have a dead bird. There are a couple through the spine there, but I think our pattern favored a touch low. Now, some of this birchwood casey looks okay, but I don't know if you can see there if I get up closer. There are some pellets over on that right bottom edge as well, but I don't know. It's just kind of a mixed bag on that target. Either way, looking at the pattern here, we definitely favored a little low, I think, but it's not really all that great. It's kind of all over the place, really. I think we kind of sort of have a core right over on that bird's upper chest area there maybe, but the rest of the pattern is just kind of sporadic. I mean, is it good enough to take a bird at 40 yards? Yeah, it is, but it's not anything impressive, which doesn't surprise me for a Federal shell. And I gotta say, you probably won't be able to tell on camera, but I would say at least 75% of the pellets on this paper are not the number 7 TSS shot. They're the 5s and 6s, and it's pretty obvious here in person. So I think they probably skimped out a little bit more than what they should have on the number 7 TSS pellets, that's for sure. But outside of that one main kind of sort of core area there, as you can see, it's very kind of patchy and sporadic all the way up here at the very top. Even though we were a little bit low, there's still pellets, and all the way down the right side and the bottom as well. It's just patchy, splotchy, sporadic. We kind of sort of had a core area trying to happen again, but I don't know. It's just not super impressive. And that's kind of been the story for some of these Federal shells, especially the ones that have TSS in them, that's for sure. I guess if this is the shell you had, yeah, it would be probably good enough to take a bird out at 40 yards. Is it a pattern that I would want to see out of my turkey setup? No, I don't think so. So I guess at the end of the day, kind of another mixed bag, but leaning a little bit towards the disappointing side, I'd say. Not really a pattern that I would want to use out of my turkey setup anyway. Okay, and here's the wad out of that shell. As you can see, it is their flight control wad. Now, I went back and double checked. There's no mention of a flight control wad on that box, which is really surprising because Federal usually likes to plaster their flight control wad all over everything they package it in. So that was a little bit surprising. Either way, nothing really too special to see here. Pretty typical looking for a flight control. The tail fins opened up pretty much perfectly evenly. We do have a little bit of a bulge out the side of these slots, but for the kind of flight control wad, I believe they call it the flight control flex wad that has the slots in the side. It's not unusual from our testing to get a little bit of a pucker there. Either way, not really anything too special to see. And with it being flight control, it might prefer a little bit more of an open choke, but I don't know. Either way, I don't think the wad had a whole lot to do with the pattern we saw today. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance there? Definitely nothing impressive. Sure, it's good enough. It would have gotten the job done. And if that's the turkey shell you had to work with, then yeah, it would probably get the job done for you out to 40 yards. But still, not exactly the pattern that I'd like to see. But I'm not really surprised with it being a Federal shell in the first place. Their turkey shells haven't done really anything amazing for us, that's for sure. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you hoping for better? Expecting worse? And if you use or have tested these third-degree shells, what has been your results with them? Let me know all that down below in the comments, and maybe what other choke you might want to see these tested through. But overall, I'd say we saw a pretty typical Federal turkey shell type of performance today. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to film for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested, but I'm going to get back to it. So I'll see y'all in the next one.